Hello, my name is Nell and I have things to say. Shopping for clothing can be difficult when you're plus-sized. It can also be difficult when you're disabled. And when it's the two together, it is a downright headache. I try to do a lot of shopping online. There are certain stores where I know that I can just do my measurements, buy my size, and I'm good to go. But there are often times when I do have to go into a store and try things on. And it's a pretty awful experience. First of all, I'm plus sized. I'm at the bigger end of the smaller spectrum and at the smaller end of the bigger spectrum. I'm about a size 18 to 20 depending on the brand and depending on the fit. So often in a standard store, I struggle to find my size unless it's in their specific plus size section. And even then, the plus size sizing is sometimes different to the standard sizing, which is just kind of weird. So I'll go into a store and have to hunt around first just to find my size. And then even if I find something in my size, it might not be in my fit. There's this funny thing that a lot of stores do where they'll get like the average size 12 or size 14, and to make a bigger size, they just kind of enlarge it all without thinking of proportions. So like, yes, when you gain weight, your waist gets bigger, but your armhole doesn't necessarily increase 300%. So you'll find shirts where it's like, yeah, it actually fits me around the waist. It also has an armhole that goes out to here because they didn't think of a human body. So I'll have to rummage around and try to find my size. Then I'll collect up those little prizes and then I'll go to a change room. And that's the next headache because most stores, at least in my area, do not have a wheelchair accessible changing room. I think there's one store in town where I can fit my wheelchair in and actually close the door and get some privacy with a worker in there. Like, have you ever been in a change room where you're in there and you're trying to juggle your bag and yourself and the pile of clothes you want to try on, the pile of clothes you want to buy, the pile of clothes you have to put back on the shelves. You're like, man, I wish there was more room. Now imagine that and think of being like 75 centimeters wide and maybe 100 centimeters deep and made of steel and plastic. Because that's my body. That is my body. A lot of places I can drive in frontwards and then you can't pull the curtain behind. So my worker has to sort of stand behind me and try to help me from the side. But meanwhile, the curtain won't close. So I know that people on the outside of the change rooms can see in, which is why often when I go to try on clothes, I wear a singlet top and tights underneath my clothes so that I can basically do it in the middle of the store, because doing it in a change room that can't close is basically the same as doing it in the middle of the store. And I have places apologize. I'm like, you've got 4 change rooms here. If you knock down the wall between 2 of them, I would fit. I would fit, and I don't think it would affect your business that much. And I know that the people in customer service can't really do much. They just work in retail. But it frustrates me because there is potential in a lot of these places to have a change room where I fit in. Usually I'll go in and I'll say, look, I don't know if this, you would usually allow returns on this item, but because I cannot try it on here, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to take it home. I'm going to try it on. If it doesn't fit me, I will bring it back and return it. Even if it's not usually something they would offer returns for, like a sales item, because if they catered for me and my body, I wouldn't have to do that. It's really frustrating. As somebody who, my body has changed so much over the years, so I still battle with a lot of self-confidence issues and self-esteem issues when I look into the mirror and I see a body that is so different from what it used to be. I'm a chunky monkey now. I was a skinny mini and now I'm a chunky monkey. I mean, some days I feel like I look like a beautiful, voluptuous pagan fertility goddess, and other days I feel like I am built like the Michelin Man. So trying things on already is a difficult thing. Trying things on and getting disheartened when it doesn't fit me, when it seems to fit but it just doesn't look right, it's hard. But then going into a store where I can't even try things on at all, and then I have to just buy them on spec and go home and try them on and do it that way, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating, especially because I know a lot of these stores have the room. They have the space for me. They just haven't taken that extra step, which, as I've mentioned in previous videos, My area has a decently high number of disabled people. A lot of us have to go out and buy clothes. And we like to try those clothes on to make sure they look good and they fit well. It's just frustrating. It makes me just sort of want to keep buying online, and then if I find something that doesn't fit, I have to go through the rigmarole of sending it back. It would be nice to be able to go in and just try something on. And the one place in town that does have a wheelchair accessible changing room is Target. Keep in mind, Target. And they're great. They actually have 2 rooms that fit me. One of them is closed at the moment because it opens onto the main drag, which they're not allowing open for COVID. But there is another one where I can fit, and there's beautiful big mirrors, and there's room for my worker, and it's wonderful. To the point where if I'm at another store, sometimes I'm tempted to say, I'm just going to take these over to Target. I can try them on at Target, and I can't try them on here, so bye-bye. See you in 10. It's just yet another thing that makes it tricky, being in a wheelchair. Everything seems to have its little complications and its little frustrations. And this is just another one of those things that makes me dread doing something that's pretty normal. A lot of people don't like going out and trying on clothes because it's frustrating and uncomfortable. For me, it's because I don't want the entire store seeing what I look like in my underwear. That's just my personal prerogative. Yeah, it's frustrating. If you live in an area where you've found that places do have good changing rooms for wheelchairs and carers in particular, because sometimes you need both, please mention it in the comments. I would love to know how your area stacks up, because it can get pretty damn disappointing. All right, that's all for this one. Bless.